Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're gonna take a look at the Russian School of Boxing and we're gonna analyze the fight from the perspective of the fighter in the red shirt. So the first thing the red shirt does is controlling the distance with his stiff jab. This is very typical. Every time his opponent gets too close to him, he would push him away with the jab. The other thing we see here is a karate footwork, very typical for Russian boxing because they always punch with their whole weight behind them, no matter jab or right hand. What we see then is a rear hand feint, which he actually really throws later when the moment is right. A short time later, we see another rear hand feint because these are very powerful. So they are a very powerful feint in Russian boxing. You can see here, he's trying to threaten a few times, then he actually throws a hook. Now, staying off the ropes is very typical for these Soviet fighters because they learned so in the Soviet Union during the preparation for the Olympic Games because their main objective was to counterpunch their opponent by, dragging them out of balance and basically pull them out. So we can see he would circle in the whole ring, just make sure he doesn't get close to the ropes. If he actually does so, he would circle out and escape the ropes. Now this round is already over. Now in the second round, we see different attempts of the red shirt to pull his opponent off guard and to counter. He occasionally controls the distance with the jab still, but we can see the right hand feint again. We see the jab feint. And one thing is very typical now, which we're going to see, is the working back. Now we see in slow motion, he didn't punch this time. So what these fighters are very good at is working while going backwards. In this period here, mostly the attempt of the red shirt is to create openings by jabbing, feinting, indicating on different levels. He is right now basically just looking for openings, controlling the distance, escaping the ropes. And we can see this beautiful working while going backwards again. He throws hooks, jabs, left hand, right hand. Now we're getting into an infight. But it was very obvious that this is a counter puncher. Now again, he's trying to work backwards, as you can see, but he did not have a good window of opportunity to counter. And now, there you go. Perfect work backwards. You see, that's very typical for Russian fighters because just like the Cuban boxers, they have a lot of emphasis on counter punching. And that's unfortunately something you don't see a lot in American schools today. They're just not good at punching while going backwards at the same time. So here we are approaching our third round. Now, since blue shirt is getting more offensive, we will see much more windows of opportunity for the red shirt to counter. So we can expect a lot of right hands. Yeah, there you go. He also started to work more backwards because he just has to set him up the right way. Now blue shirt has become more offensive. There are more chances to counter. One typical thing also of the Russian school is that check hook that you also see Floyd Mayweather doing is a step to the side going backwards while throwing a hook. Mostly the amount of feints has increased, more jabbing, more distance control. And there you go, there's another check hook. It's that step back to the side at the same time and the hook as a counter. There you go. Here just another distance control, but we can see red shirt is utilizing the right hand much more. This is just due to the blue shirt becoming more aggressive because this style is very dependent on countering. And the more offensive your fighter gets, the more your skills can shine with this style. Another thing that I have noticed what the red shirt doing is occasionally getting close and letting the blue guy exhaust himself. That's supposed to open him new windows of opportunity later. You can see now he lets him punch a bit. That enables him again to counter later because he wins time, he makes him tired. Most of the time, he would not let him get too close and jabs when the timing is right. There you go. Check hook, failed. So the biggest weakness of the blue fighter here is that he cannot get in range because the red shirt has done his homework. He's jabbing, he's keeping him away, he's escaping the ropes. The blue fighter still hasn't figured out the right strategy how to get in range. Now, this is just beautiful to watch. That's the thing I was talking about. That this beautiful work while going backwards. Look at this feints, and actually real countering. This is a very typical trademark of the Russian school of boxing. You will not see this in any other school. Occasionally, the blue shirt does land his shots, but in my opinion, throughout the whole fight now into the fourth round, he actually did not find a way how to successfully to get in range. The red shirt can punch from a bigger distance, and blue shirt just is not a puncher in that range. He has to work much more before he gets a chance to do so. My prediction is that, of course, the guy in the red shirt is going to win the fight. And here is another in-fight attempt, or an attempt to exhaust the guy in the blue shirt. He obviously does it on purpose. That is also because the red shirt got a bit cocky because he knows he's winning the fight, so his confidence has risen a bit, and we can see that he is more courageous now. Oops, I think this one went below the belt. Short interruption. Now here, very classical, old school, he's setting up his rear hand with his jab, distance control, jab, jab, and throws a very hard right. While jumping backwards, slightly a little bit, almost barely visible. Now we see a very obvious counter while walking backwards. Very typical Russian Cuban boxing. Now the strategy of the red shirt here is to counter the blue shirt on his way rushing in. If he cannot achieve that, he will either escape the ropes or he will clinch, get very close to prevent him from really attacking. Now he's trying to counter, but he does not have the right window of opportunity. He's escaping the ropes, and if it does not work out, he clinches to protect himself. Honestly speaking, the fight is almost boring to watch because the main issue here is that the blue shirt, unfortunately, is actually playing his game, which is trying to chase him down. And of course, this is not working because the red shirt has done his homework. So he is perfect at maintaining the right distance and the counter at the right time. I do not expect him to be able to find his range by the end of that round. Instead, the best strategy probably would have been to counter the red shirt, as they say, counter the counter puncher instead of chasing him down, because that obviously seems not to work. Another clever tactic that the red shirt is utilizing is actually disencouraging the blue shirt from rushing in. We will see that in times when he's gonna get especially aggressive. Similar thing that Floyd Mayweather did to Maidana is to grab his opponent and let him exhaust himself. Just disencourages these fighters from bull rushing. In many ways, this style really reminds me of Floyd Mayweather's fighting style because its main dictum is to stay off the ropes, controlling the range, countering at the right time. And this can make fights quite boring sometimes, but it's good for these fighters who successfully utilize that. If you like the analysis, click on like and subscribe and let me know in the comment section what you want to see next time, and I might deliver it.